Welcome to Pre6 Costing. We are here to solve one of the most burning problems of manufacturers, that is responding to RFQs in a very short amount of time. We want our partners, our users to go from CAD to quote in seconds. It is a completely DFM powered AI native intelligent quoting system what we have built, and I will show you to you how simply it works. Once I am here in the platform, all I need to do is upload the part. I can click here to upload parts button, select the file from my computer. I have selected a file. I need to click continue, select the process. Pre6 Costing comes with two inbuilt DFM engines, that is injection molding process and high pressure die casting process. We can also learn a new process from your Excel files, your Excel templates, but those features are not DFM powered. If you want to experience DFM powered coating, we need to select either injection molding or high pressure die casting. However, a lot of manufacturers have a lot of subsidiary processes which require simpler coating process. And for that, we have this option where we can learn from your costing sheet. However, for this particular demo, I want us to focus on an inbuilt DFM engine. Let's go with injection molding. I click continue. Within a few seconds, the software will analyze the file we have uploaded, will ask basic questions to set up this particular quote, and quickly it will be done with a cost. So I'll go with whatever the default is for now. You can either click here, change the material of the mold, change the material with which you want to manufacture the part, enter the right cost. All of this can be learned instantly within no time. I need to click continue. Now, this is the part of what I have loaded in my browser, and you can see I am on pre6.ai/costing, and everything works completely smooth. Right now, what is happening behind your screen is the part is getting scanned, material properties are getting loaded, features are getting detected, estimation is happening, and finally, a cost will appear in front of us in no time. Software is estimating around 10.3 lakh rupees for mold cost, and the total order value is 16.5 lakh rupees. This includes the mold part as well as the material cost. And adding the 10% margin, the final value of the order becomes 18.2 lakhs. I'll also show you the breakdown that how we arrive at this particular cost and what considerations does this software take into account. So I can go to this order summary and we can see cycle time is getting auto calculated. Material is getting auto calculated. The machine time gets auto calculated. If we go to user inputs, we can see machine tonnage has been auto calculated for us. Also, the number of cavity is being recommended. I'll show you how these things work, how the cycle time gets calculated, for example. So I can click engineering tools. We have our own inbuilt DFM engine as well as the fill approximation engine. I can click gates here, auto detect best gate, click fill approximation again, and within no time, you can see how fast the engine tries to run the simulation and comes up with a result. It offers insane iteration time for your team, which has never been seen before in the industry. We can see how the fill is happening in this particular part. And on the basis of this particular engine, what we have built, we are able to calculate the cycle time, the clamp force required, the cavity pressure, the front temperature, everything. We also try to predict weld lines if they come at any location, air traps, the potential areas of sink. Everything gets calculated for you instantly within no time. I'll also show you one magical feature. I can click mold tools here, generate mold assembly, and within no time, the whole mold assembly will be generated for us with the correct identification of the areas where side action needs to happen. So if I click exploded view, we can see how the mold of one cavity is going to look like. All these kind of intelligence goes into the costing platform, and that is how we are able to come up with the right numbers. I'll also show you one more thing what the system learns. So we can click feature detection and we can see all the bosses, the ribs, the holes, all these things get highlighted. If I click bosses here, we can see the system has learned, okay, these particular things are bosses, these particular things are ribs. So based on these detected features, we make certain assumptions in the machine time. We'll see all those things. Let me go back to costing. Whatever we have seen so far, how the mold is being predicted, the fill time, the slider lifter location, the other things like draft angle analysis, which happens like this, the automatic core cavity split, which happens in no time. All these kind of information help us to come to costing, and then the final number comes on our screen. So let's go to advanced tab to understand more. So from the fill approximation, we got the values what we are seeing here on the screen. Let's go to advanced tab and we can see the mold base getting calculated based on the geometry of the part we have supplied. The base plate, if we are reusing the existing base plate, we can just click here. If not, then it will automatically calculate it for you. Then we can go to cost drivers to understand more about how the costing is coming. So base mold cost calculation, cooling and welding calculation, the surface finish requirement. So it is coming as machined. If we want to change it, we want light polish, we want EDM textured finish, we want some custom requirement, we can just put the values there and the value will get added. Then we can also see we have got machining and design. The this is such a feature rich part that it is getting predicted as a heavy difficulty mold which will be required to be machined. Hence, the machining hour is taking everything into the account. The setup cost based on the features we have seen, what will be the CNC hour, what will be the EDM hour, what will be the milling hour, everything gets calculated based on the features which are present in the particular part. We also have bought out parts. Here we are seeing that the machine predicts what will be the number of ejector pins which are required, what are the number of sliders which are required, the cost of which can be filled from whatever the provider of sliders and lifters we are getting these costs from. Or if we turn it off, by default, the system calculates 15% add on the overall cost what we have calculated so far. Then we also have commercials where we can have we can set profit margin, we can have trials, number of trials, whatever we want, the part inspection hours and the cost of inspection. Finally, packaging, transporting, all those costs can be added, and we getting a grand cost of 10 lakh rupees for this particular part and this particular mold. Now we also have an option to open optimization button here. So if I click here, it tries to tell us that depending on the part of what we have given, depending on the quantity we want to manufacture, how much cavity should be there in your mold to get the most revenue from this particular order. So for this 10,000 part, one cavity is sufficient, and the other two cavity, four cavity, six cavity is not feasible. Maybe if we want more quantity, these cost optimization will get tuned automatically. Now let's go to part cost. I'll click here and we will see the unit cost for the particular part. This 181 rupees is actually the manufacturing plus tooling plus 10% margin cost. This 68.95 is only the manufacturing cost plus the 10% margin, excluding the mold amortization. So we are able to see all the cost in all the different ways possible. Now, I'll also show you the different types of inputs or the intelligence this system provides us. We can click production inputs, so we can see the clamp force is getting automatically calculated. The machine is something which gets automatically calculated based on the inputs the software has detected, like the cycle time, the number of cavities we have, the cavity pressure, clamping force. The rates of your particular machine is something we learn from you. The software is completely tunable to your shop floor. All we need to supply is the previous 4 or 5 costing sheet to this particular software in Excel form, and all these kinds of cost, the machine hourly rate, the CNC rate, EDM rate, everything gets automatically tuned for your system in less than 5 seconds. We can also click export here and get either the Google Sheet or an Excel sheet downloadable with all these breakdown of mold and tooling cost as well as part cost and the summary out of the box in no time. That is what we have built at Pre6 Costing, and that is what we are trying to offer our partners, our customers, our users. We really want to solve the problem of RFQs and make this a no-brainer. Excited to see you using our platform.